बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मैं हूँ डॉक्टर सानिया चौधरी और आप देख रहे हैं यूट्यूब चैनल। हमारी मिनी सीरीज़ का आज हम अगला प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं, इंटरव्यू विद ईमान नज़ीर। और आज जो टॉपिक है जिसके ऊपर हम इंफॉर्मेशन से लेंगे वो है कि जब आप स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ से बाहर पढ़ने जाते हैं कहीं भी किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में, तो उनको अकोमोडेशन के हवाले से, उनको हलाल फूड ढूंढने के हवाले से, वहाँ पे जो छोटी छोटी चीज़ों के हवाले से, जो उनकी कॉमन चीज़ों के लिए कुछ शॉपिंग हो, कोई बुक्स की शॉपिंग हो, लॉजिस्टिक्स, इन सब को कैसे हैंडल करना और मैनेज करना है। तो वीडियो एंड तक देखिएगा ताकि कोई भी यूजफुल इंफॉर्मेशन आप मिस ना करें, बिकॉज यू नेवर नो व्हेन यू माइट नीड इट। जी ईमान, थैंक यू वेरी मच। अस्सलाम वालेकुम, थैंक्स फॉर बीइंग विद अस हियर अगेन, शेयरिंग वैल्यूएबल इंफॉर्मेशन। आपके एक्सपीरियंस से आई है। Tell us something about today's topic, in which we are discussing 2-3 critical things. The first thing is accommodation, shelter. When you reach your place of university, I understand that the first year is in the dorm, but how is the dorm accommodation, and about sharing, and if you need to find some of your own accommodation if you're not happy with the dorm, and what is the cheaper option? Just tell us something about that.
I think definitely if you're not someone who's used to kind of sharing a small space with a couple of people, whether it's one person or like two other people, it is like an adjustment. But I also think it's like the dorm experience. I feel like it's such an important part of your college experience, that even if it gets like a little annoying at times or difficult to deal with, I think it's such an important part of it. And
what's the annoying part?
Well, sometimes you don't get along with your roommates. There could be challenges, or you become best friends, or like kind of complications like that. And I feel like you should do your best to always voice out your concerns in situations that if that you're not okay with, or if you think your room's too messy or something.
Messy, or somebody's using music of noise, or keeping the lights on too late, or you're being disturbed.
So stuff like that. So obviously if you're not used to that,
how many students are there generally in a dorm?
So they're
in a room,
in a room. So like the dorm building I was living in, there were mostly like doubles, which 2 people were sharing, and triples. And I had a triple.
Okay. So, and is the bathroom attached to it, or is it a common bathroom that everybody uses then?
It was a common bathroom, but then it also depends on, I think, like how the university structures their dorm buildings. But mostly it's like you're gonna have like common bathrooms for the whole floor.
And are there disciplinary rules, sort of lights out, nobody going out after certain hours, get up at this time, or
we didn't have
be in university during university hours? What's the general
I feel
atmosphere?
Like once you're in university, I feel like there is so much flexibility. Like there's not going to be anyone to like make sure that you're awake, or that you went out, or you went to class or anything.
You're supposed to behave like an
adult. Yeah, you have to figure that on your own.
Responsible person.
Yeah, you have to make sure you get to your class. You know where your classes are. And
but there are a lot of students who fail to do that.
I feel like it's difficult.
There are a lot of students like that, and it's very unfair to themselves and to their parents and families, because studying abroad as of today is a very tedious sort of commitment on a pocket.
It's a privilege.
It's a privilege, of course. It's a privilege, but a lot of people who can't afford the privilege, even they struggle to put their children through this, just to build a future for their children. And the children need to realize that.
I agree.
We've gone off the top. Okay.
Yeah, but so like there aren't any like strict rules like that. We did have like quiet hours, like don't make noise during like a certain amount of time, like at night and everything. But the rest was, you're on your own to figure out how to be an adult. So
if sometimes it happens that a person is not happy in a dorm and wants to move out, can you move out in the first year?
Yeah. So I think so. Most of the dorms, I feel like, will have like people that are older than you, like if they're in a senior grade, and they kind of are helping overlook the situation. So, and they will be probably living in the same building as you as well.
Okay.
So those are the type of people you can reach out to if you are
Yes,
struggling
okay.
or you just need help with something,
Okay.
or roommate issues or anything. So in some situations, people would ask to relocate.
Okay.
If that's possible, that could happen.
Okay.
And then it's still up to you. Like, it depends on if you can afford to move out, to be
Of
honest.
course.
So I think in that whole process, like, so for me, I moved out after
the first year.
after the first year.
Okay.
And
And how did you find the accommodation for that?
so
So newspapers or estate agents or the university notice boards, how does that happen?
so that does not happen anymore.
Through the internet, then how did you do it?
So I found, like, there were a bunch of Facebook pages that were made by
Okay.
Berkeley students.
Okay.
And people,
So the world has moved on. I need to move on as well. Okay.
and like, you know, people would put up postings and like
Okay.
people living in Berkeley, like,
Okay.
you know, who own houses there or stuff.
Okay.
And that's kind of where I started figuring out, okay, like, these are the places
These are
that
the
I,
options.
yeah.
available.
And then at one point when I was kind of struggling because I couldn't figure out like a good place that I could stay at,
Okay.
I think sometimes just, especially if you're living on a college town, or there is like access to housing near or around campus.
Yeah.
Sometimes like just honestly walking by and seeing
Okay.
what apartment buildings do you have and where, like,
Making inquiries.
yeah, or like usually like they will have information outside on their building.
Okay.
So,
Signposted sort of.
yeah, because everything
Okay.
is mostly online.
Okay.
So you have to like submit applications for
Okay.
them or like your
And then
information.
there is viewing and there's shortlisting and that's all.
Yeah, for some places it's like getting on the lease is much simpler, but
Okay. Now we
yeah.
get to the next very important thing for us Muslims and Pakistanis. How do you find halal food? Or
So-
do you get halal food in the canteens, or are there any options available on the campus?
So because Berkeley is very diverse,
Okay.
we had great access to halal food,
Okay.
and especially in California in general, because there is a comparatively much larger like Muslim community and brown community as well. So a lot of restaurants in general are halal.
Okay. That's
And-
interesting.
And
It's a place of convenience then, but I presume again it would be Facebook pages and it would be
yeah,
stuff
there
like
is.
that
There's so many
to
things you
find
can
out
find
internet
online.
where you can find
Yeah,
the
like-
halal, and they deliver as well.
Yeah, there are like a lot of communities that over there will, like, that you can locate on Instagram or Facebook that, like, if you don't per se have access
Okay.
to halal food or restaurants, or like even like in my like campus like food, like the dining halls and stuff, they
Okay.
like they had
They have
specific-
options.
Yeah, they had halal options.
Okay, and just the last thing for this interview then, and with regard to transportation, in UK I know that there is an underground train system, and we call that the tube, and in some other European countries they have that privilege as well. In New York I understand there is a system there, but apart from that, is the bus system as well developed to shuttle you through the cities and within a city, or is it Uber or taxi? What is the preference? Otherwise, do you have to mix and match?
So honestly, I think especially for students, Ubering is very expensive.
Okay.
Like, it's much cheaper in Pakistan.
Okay.
So I feel like I've only used it when I absolutely did not have a choice.
Okay.
But I do think like almost everywhere in like a lot of the major cities and where a lot of like like college towns are, there's really good public transport.
Okay.
So whether that's buses and trains.
Okay.
So like where I live, there's both.
Okay.
And it's much more affordable, much
And
more
sufficient to
convenient.
look after you while you are there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Iman. Thanks for your time, and I think you are flying back in the next couple of days. We wish you all the best. This is your last semester. Hopefully, when you graduate, we will have some more information with you with regard to internship, with regard to your graduation ceremony or convocation, and with how to find a job. So thank you very much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, viewers. Allah.